What does it say about your fan base again to elevate you to this bowl? What does it say about it, I guess?
Yeah, again, I would say I think it takes all of us. And, I think that's one of the things that's really neat, that I think this whole thing has had the ability to elevate us to a really prominent stage again. And, I think we've learned a lot, we've grown a lot, and certainly, as I've said before, we've grown through this fan base. But I think there's been a lot of growth inside our walls, too, and all of it's kind of collectively come to a great moment again for this football program to be on a really special stage and a really special moment for Iowa State athletics.
What does it mean for Iowa State playing maybe arguably the most famous college football program on the planet, and you're still coaching a trending program?
Yeah, I just, to be able to play an opponent like this, and that is how the season ends. We're really fortunate because we get to play in this conference some tremendous programs that have great legacies. And I would agree with you, Randy. This is a program that's got one of the greatest legacies in college football. And to be able to go and compete with them on this stage, I think it says a lot about where we're at. Certainly says a lot about where we want to go. And it's certainly going to be a great challenge for our kids in our program.
Do you know Coach Kelly at all?
I don't. I obviously a lot of respect for him because I think our paths similar in terms of Central Michigan and obviously him being in the state of Ohio at times when we were at the University of Toledo at Cincinnati. But just a lot of respect for certainly what he's done in his career.
Do you know much about Notre Dame already?
No, I don't. I think that would be, for me to sit here and say I do, it would be false.
You get a contract extension earlier this week. Can you just kind of explain the promptingness of that and how important it was just to reassure recruits, that kind of thing?
Yeah, again, I so much credit to our administration, our president and Jamie Pollard in terms of what we want to do and what we're doing here. Again, for me, I know I've said that multiple times, and I guess the only thing I can continue to do is prove what I say I want to do and where I say we want to go, and continue to try to prove it the right way by our actions and really what we do rather than what we say. And we're really fortunate here to have unbelievable leadership from the top down, and that means a lot to me.
Jamie said that he thought the Camping World Bowl they liked the brand, I guess, growing brand of Iowa State. Do you notice that as you're going out to recruit in homes and stuff, that's increased over the years?
I think you see me wear the same stuff every Tuesday. I've got jeans on right now, so brand in Matt Campbell probably would be the wrong thing, to notice. And I don't mean that. I don't mean that facetious.
Clothes as much as
Yes, I know
who
what
Iowa
you're saying.
State is.
Yeah, I think that's changing, and again, the credit's got to go to Jamie. The credit's got to go to our men's basketball program that's had great success here, to what Coach Finley's done, to what our volleyball program's done, to what Kevin Dresser's doing, and I think we play a small part in that. And to be relevant, to be important, those things are great, and we've worked really hard to get there. I think this team has continued that tradition, even though maybe the result isn't always exactly what we want in terms of wins and losses. But I think what this team has done is proven who it has the ability to be and what it's got the ability to become. And I think this is obviously a great invitation and representation of that.
Jamie talked a little bit about the importance that the Camping World at least seemed for the idea that they were happy that you were sticking around. Iowa State had that assurances that you were. I know usually at the end of the regular season, you and Jamie have that sit down. I think that's Sunday. Is that kind of how this contract extension manifested?
Yeah. I mean, exactly, Tommy. I think from my end of it, Jamie's tremendous with me because I'm all in terms of with the season's going. I've got the ability to put blinders on and really not worry about anything else that's going on outside of our walls. I really appreciate Jamie having that kind of, I guess, just that trust and relationship with me, that once the season's over, we can talk and talk about what we did well and what we didn't do well, and say, here's our vision of how we go forward. And that means a lot to me. It means a lot to have that relationship, and it means a lot that he allows us to be able to get through the season and put focus on what should be important, not maybe what speculation's out there.
Was it still just kind of like that normal end of the season meeting, or was this, I think it was maybe last year or 2 years ago, I think you and Erica even went to his house.
Yeah,
This one, like.
Yeah, this was pretty simple. This was a conversation. We had a great meeting. Maybe that meeting occurred on Monday, and just conversation. I think that's the one thing that we're really fortunate is that you can be able to communicate, and there's a great sense of trust between each other.
How much did you know you'd also met with the team later that week? How important was it for them to hear just that news too? I mean, could you sense maybe some worrisome from them because they pay attention to outside noises?
Yeah, and maybe I did a poor job of that, to be honest with you. I don't even look at any of that stuff. So the reality of understanding those things, and I think maybe just my awareness, knowing that how to address those things and how to continue to stay on top of things is really important. And so I try to do the best job I can of being present, of letting our kids know exactly what's going on in everything. And whether it was late or not late, I don't know that. But boy, it's always my responsibility to over communicate with our football team.
You talked about the bowl practices in the past and how valuable they are. What do they do for this team specifically?
Yeah, again, this team's so young. I just think the ability to get back to work a little bit is really big. This is a year where, especially you talk about like true freshmen playing, not so much of that really occurred as much in years past. I think it says a lot about our program. I think the young guys that did play, boy, the wealth of experience that they've been able to garner and kind of go back and really put to work the ability to continue to work hard to take that next step. And I think any bowl game's a way to finish 2019, but man, also a way to springboard yourself into 2020. And because of who we play or where we play, that won't change what our approach is. Our approach is going to be everything in our power to continue growth and development in every phase of our football program right now.
How big is this time for guys like Greg to get back to full strength, hopefully?
And there's so many of those guys. I think we're still in that phase where we play, a lot of guys play a lot of snaps, and a lot of guys were dinged up, banged up, and just the ability to kind of catch yourself a little bit and take a breath. I think it's been really big, and I'll be honest with you, I think it's big for our coaches, and it's been really big for everybody involved. And I think we've learned a lot. We used even last week a chance to just reflect. And for me, continue to search to find where are those inches and where are those margins that we need to continue to fill in. And that's what I love about what we get to do, and it's what I love about what I get to do.
Game-wise, in terms of talking about, we talked to you after K-State, and you said you wanted to get better at the details and some of those things you just mentioned. What's the most important thing for this team, aside from building for 2020, specifically for this game between K-State and that game?
Oh, I just think for us it's continue to align to the vision of what's made us successful. And, we've learned so much this year and put in some really unique situations that are probably different than maybe what we were in the past. And how do you work through that, both players and coaches? And, just continue to align ourselves together to be the absolute best version of ourselves we can be. And, man, the opportunity to do that one more time in 4 quarters on this stage against this opponent, I know everybody in our walls are really excited about that opportunity and that challenge.
You said you didn't know much about Notre Dame, so what's the process look like for you guys from now until game day?
Well, I think the first thing we do is we got to go finish recruiting, and we're going to do that as a coaching staff. The second thing will be, probably all be taking laptops with us in terms of just starting to get a really good idea of this Notre Dame team. Obviously, I follow football enough to know they got a great quarterback, they got a really good coach, and they got a really good defense. All those other things that we'll go to work on and learn the details of it. But again, I think it's the same process it would be for any opponent. But just so happens we got to do something in recruiting first so we can finish that off the right way.
Do you know when you start practice or how that kind of plays out?
Yeah, I think we'll at least get back practicing, period, just this weekend. We haven't touched the football or touched the field since Kansas State, and I just felt like this team needed to take a step back. Myself, our coaches, and our players, and so we'll hit the practice field again on Friday, and then again once this weekend gets through, we'll really put our sights on Notre Dame.
With more of a national audience and, like you said, playing against a really good quarterback, do you see it as an opportunity for Brock Purdy to get to show the country what he's made of?
boy, if Brock Purdy hasn't showed the country what he's made of already, then I don't know what his product will or can do. So, I just see this as an opportunity for our entire team and program to take another big step forward. And, we've been fortunate to be on great stages. We've been fortunate to be on great stages in our past and even this season. And take what we've learned and just continue to grow forward.
All right, Coach. Thank you.